than maybe anybody else in this country. So the culture slowly dictates towards combat sports and that culture. So they're gonna all get behind their fighters, while the rest of regular Americans, so to speak, or non-Latin Americans, so to speak, non-Latino Americans, so to speak, they don't, they're first of all, they're not as emotional as people. I think Latin people are very emotional, very vociferous in general. It's just a genetic thing, which is a good thing when you're a fan, But they're also, they don't get behind as much behind their people as the Latinos do behind their people. The rest of white people or even black people, they don't get behind as much. Latinos don't pay their rent sometimes to come to the fights, bro. When I phoned Miguel Cotto, I'm like, yo, bro, how is so many of these people in this arena? It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, is anybody going to cheer for me in this place? I'm from New York. like everybody, they just show up, man. They show up no matter what. They come into the fight, and they're great fans. And so it's the culture, really. It's the culture. It's easier to become a star if you can drive behind that Latino community. And of course, if you're Latino, because they may be a fan of you if you're not Latino. Because they might like your style, like Golovkin, for example. They might like your style. They might be fans of his and the way he fights. But at day's end, bro, there's a special kind of love between Latino to Latinos, And I'm saying that from what I've seen, because I'm not Latino myself, but I'm saying that from what I've seen, and I see that bond.
Paulie, do you believe that the inside game is going to dictate this fight? Because we never really seen Kovalev ever fight on the inside. Is he going to be comfortable? We know Ward is comfortable.
Yeah, it's weird because usually, you look at a guy as strong as Kovalev, and you figure guys just want to run away from him. You know what I'm saying? And he wants to get to them. But in reality, a lot of the power he's shown is extended power. Where he's extending the big right hand. He's catching you from the outside. We never seen anybody really with the guts, I guess, even to try to be on the inside a lot with him and try to trouble him and bully him around. One thing you gotta understand about Eastern Europeans, bro, they always come forward guys. They like to dictate the fight mentally and physically. What happens when you back them up? Some fighters can't fight going backwards. Some good fighters can't fight going backwards. I don't know, like guys like Julio Cesar Chavez couldn't fight going backwards. You know what I'm saying? So what happens if you back up the monster in Sergey Kovalev and people say, oh, does Andre Ward hit hard enough? It's not about hitting hard enough. The guys don't just back up because you hit hard enough. Guys also back up when they're confused. Guys back up when you bully them. See, bullying and punching power is two different things. Andre Ward knows how to be a bully in the ring. Andre Ward has a lot of self-belief in the ring. So, and I think both these guys have a lot of self-belief in reality. But I don't see Ward really questioning himself if he needs to come forward and take the fight to the trenches and really, start using those elbows in that head and whatnot, I learned a long time ago, man, if you know how to bend the rules and get away with it, then you do it.
Paulie, you're a technical fighter. Andre Ward's a technical fighter. Most people look at Kovalev and just figure he's just a puncher. What is it from a technical standpoint Andre Ward would have to watch out for when it comes to Kovalev?
I think Kovalev, people look at him as a non-technical fighter because they're so enamored with his power, and maybe because he's a little bit robotic. He's a technical fighter, but a lot of the Eastern Europeans, they're so technical that they're almost robotic. They're almost computer programmed. Like, this is what you do and this is what you don't do, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? There's not a lot of room for creativity in their style, in the way they're taught even. You know what I'm saying? There's what you do, there's what you don't do, and buried in their mind. And you notice that a lot of that. They're tacticians, or robotic tacticians. They're almost like real robots. You just can't destroy them. They just keep coming at you behind those tactics until they wear you out. From a tactical perspective, he knows how to set those traps as well. So that's what I'm saying. He's not like a Maidana who's going to just try to physically wear you out. Sergey Kovalev may be lesser than Ward on the technical side, but he's technical enough to where he can start to set these traps and maybe clip Andre off. You know what I'm saying? And again, this is a guy who hits hard enough to where he doesn't even have to hit you clean for him to get your attention or even drop you. But even if he doesn't drop you or hit you, as long as he's hitting you clean enough, it doesn't have to be that clean, and he's getting your attention, and in your mind you're like, man, that was heavy. Already, you're starting to think, man, well, what happens if this guy lands clean? I'm in here for 12 rounds, and I landed partially. I don't like the way that felt. So there's a lot of mind games in there, man. A fight is physical, but it's also mental. So how does that play on Andre Ward's head when that happens? Or how does Andre Ward suddenly not running but being a bully to Kovalev? How does that play on Kovalev's head? You know what I mean? Also, they said they're worried about Andre Ward being dirty. Okay, well, what if Andre Ward starts being dirty and then the refs just letting him fight? Because most refs, let's face it, at this level, they just give him a ticket, sit in the front row, because they don't do anything anyway. You know what I mean? So how many times I've looked at the referee in a clinch, I don't even complain anymore. I just get butted. I look at the ref like, nah, you're not gonna take care of that one. All right, fuck it. So I guess I'm gonna take that butt right in the mouth. So it's like, it's one of those things where, okay, well, what if that's happening and you got to fend for yourself? It's a fight. At the end of the day, you got to fend for yourself. That's what I've learned in this sport. The ref's not going to help you. If he gets to the down and dirty trenches, you gotta know you gotta fend for yourself as a man to man. There's money on the line, everything's on the line. You fend for yourself as a man. So, how's Kovalev gonna react to that? So we don't know a lot of things. We don't know how, again, like I said, how Andre's gonna react, even getting clipped and feeling the power, even if it's not clean, and if he's gonna doubt himself, or how Sergey's gonna react, and Andre starts being a bully. I think the time will come where he has to do that. I don't think Andre can run around and be tactical the whole time. I just don't see that happening, because I think Kovalev will have worked on at least cutting the ring down completely and forcing him to fight. So I think we're going to see several adjustments from both guys, and we'll see how they react.
You mentioned he was a robotic type of technical fighter. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Do you think you need to be more creative?
It works for those guys, because in 12 rounds, what they look at it is, you got 12 rounds, stick with this. It will eventually work. Something will eventually give. Even if it's not working, it will eventually work. Because with a guy like Kovalev, once you hit, all you need to do is hit once or twice, and all of a sudden the fight changes. When the fight doesn't end, the fight changes, because now the opponent's like, whoa, his mentality changes, he gets more defensive. So the rugged robotic mentality is stick to it, be disciplined, don't get frustrated, stick, because eventually something will give. It's just too long of a period of time for something not to give at one point or another. And once something gives, it may change the whole fight.
Can they make adjustments like that, though, if they're sticking?
I don't know. It's a good question, but you gotta be good. You gotta be good enough to get them there, though. You gotta be good enough to get them there, and being good enough to get them there means you've probably either gotta not get hit or not get hit that much, because you may not be around long enough to force them to adjust. Because if they put you out, they put you out.
Yeah. Now, Paulie, you have an underrated jab with your fight game. Ward and Kovalev also have a really good jab. Who wins the jab contest in this?
And I think Andre's jab is a little bit more varied. I think Andre's athletic ability gives him the ability to frustrate Sergey a little bit in dictating that kind of tactics from the outside. And I think Sergey's going to have to, push the envelope a little bit. I think where Sergey's going to have to be successful is cutting the ring down. Because I think Andre has a more creative jab. He can switch his jab around more, as per Sergey has that one specific jab. So Andre having that specific jab can use it to set traps. He can bait Sergey's jab out of him and counter him with the right hand. He can do a lot more with his jab. But Sergey's sticking with it, cutting the ring down, eventually, forcing Andre in uncomfortable positions to where, what happens when you're uncomfortable? Sometimes you make mistakes when you're uncomfortable. You force something that you shouldn't be forcing. Yeah, you force something you shouldn't be forcing. I don't like the real estate where I'm going over here, man. I got to get out of here. I got to figure something out. You may figure something out that doesn't work. It might play into his hands, So again, I think Sergey has to stay with, consistency. Andre has to stick with, making that adjustment and varying it and forcing it and seeing if Kovalev can adjust back to it. Because if Andre makes a proper adjustment, we're going to find out if Kovalev can adjust.
Well, as great of a matchup this is, a lot of people feel that maybe Andre had to take it, but do you feel that he had to take this fight? He chose to take it, obviously, but do you feel that he had to take this fight?
I think Andre probably chose to take this fight because he had to go for something. He had to go for it. He wanted to go for it. He came back after 2-3 years out of the spotlight, with contract issues. And I felt like, he probably felt like, I gotta go for it. I want to make money and I want to build my name and legacy. There's not a lot of time here. But let's face it, nobody's forced to do anything. Adonis Stevens is not fighting Sergey Kovalev. Nobody's forced him to do anything. So you're not forced to do anything. You can do what you want. You can sit on your money. Andre Ward was gonna make money anyway. Just like Adonis Stevens is making money anyway. So nobody's gonna force you to do this. You gotta be striving for greatness to take on this guy. Let me tell you, this is a scary guy to look at sitting down here as I'm listening to the press conference, let alone in the corner with a screaming rabid fans with a bell about to ring that I gotta meet him in the center in like 3 seconds. You know what I'm saying? So it's a scary proposition. You gotta be wanting to go for that kind of greatness. Nobody's gonna force you to do that. You gotta want that in order to do this.
Is the winner #1 pound for pound?
Yes, absolutely.
What if Floyd Mayweather comes back? Is he still pound for pound?
He's like, Floyd is like pound for pound in recess. You know what I mean? Like you can't take it away from him. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, he's like, it's like, how can I put it? Because he can't really touch it at that point with Floyd, you know?
Floyd for pound, and then pound.
Yeah. It's something like that, you know, because...
They already have him as the best of the era already, Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, but you know, it is his era. But at the end of the day, it's almost moving into a different era. You know, it's like Floyd hasn't fought in what, a year and change. You're not his retirement, so you're starting to look for the new names to come out and present themselves. You know, I think this is a very risky fight. I think it's a very risky fight for both guys. I think this fight is riskier for both guys than I would say the Pacquiao fight would be before the next. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, yeah, Floyd had a year off. Yeah, Floyd has, you know, he's had the layoff and he's aging. So yeah, it's risky because of nature. I think nature poses more of a threat to Floyd Mayweather than Pacquiao does at this point. You know, I think this fight though, the threat is each other.
Why would you put this Kovalev Award winner pound for pound #1 as opposed to Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez, like some commentators?
Well, I don't really know a lot of Chocolatito's opponents. You know what I mean? And when Chocolatito's finishing fight, and he's fun to watch. Don't get me wrong. He's great to watch. He's exciting. He's got a lot of offensive prowess. But when you're finishing fights with your eyes closed, homie, you're not pound for pound. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you can't be getting hit like that. You know, pound for pound means offense and defense. And he's a fun fighter to watch. He's you know, excitement value. I think that's the problem with the media here. The media in this country, especially, they forget. They don't understand that excitement value and ability and effectiveness. Excitement value and effectiveness are two different things, and sometimes they don't go in the same room at all. Sometimes they're actually in two different rooms. Sometimes they can be mixed together, but a lot of the times effectiveness and excitement value are in totally different rooms. Arturo Gatti was exciting as hell. He was never going to be the #1 pound for pound guy. You know what I'm saying? So Chocolatito's exciting as hell. He's effective to a degree. I don't know how effective he is finishing fights with his eyes closed, though. You know what I mean? You're getting touched a little too much. The defense is part of the effective part of fighting. You know, effectiveness is not just offense; it's defense too. So, you know, that's why Vladimir Klitschko never got any credit. That's why guys like Pernell Whitaker a lot of times never got any credit. You know, effectiveness is effectiveness. It's not get it twisted with excitement value. Let's not be like these people that just become fans. If you're gonna criticize, you gotta criticize the whole spectrum of things.
Do you believe the reason why some fans or even media members do that because they can't separate their personal emotions?
Absolutely, because absolutely, because you know it's natural to want to root for the guy who gets your adrenaline pumps and gets your blood flow. Oh man, this guy is something. Oh man, you want to root for him. Now all of a sudden you start creating scenarios in your mind. Like, oh, he's the best. What is he the best at? Getting hit? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's he the best at? You know, some of these guys are effective offensive fighters, but for me, a pound for pound great, top pound for pound guy has to have the effectiveness offensively and defensively. You got to show me something complete so that I can put you in with any style and you can be effective and you can effectively beat that style. You know?
With the exception of the two guys in this fight, who would you say right now at the moment has displayed that to you, the completeness?
Terence Crawford. Lomachenko. You know, you know, you're gonna probably think I'm crazy. Kell Brook has shown me that, but again, the Golovkin fight is at middleweight. You know, I thought Kell Brook was very good against Golovkin, a naturally smaller guy. That guy's bigger, stronger, but he was showing me a lot of that. I think Errol Spence has the possibility, the talent to do it. You know, again, I'm not saying these guys are going to be #1 pound for pound. These are all guys that I think have the potential to really show a lot. You know,
who at heavyweight?
A heavyweight. I know it's not a heavyweight that's going to stick out to me, but there's some really good heavyweights. You know, there's some fun heavyweights. They made the weight class great again. Made the weight. It's funny. It's like Donald Trump. Made the weight class great again. No, make heavyweights great again, folks. Come on, guys. Let's do it.
Well, he is from New York.
But I think they have made heavyweights fun again. I'd say that, you know, because you have so many various styles and effective fighters. You know, like Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua. You have Joseph Parker and Andy Ruiz about to get it on as well. You know. Klitschko's still lingering.
On the same level, though?
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible they're on the same level, but you know they're all pretty good. You know, one thing. Here's the thing, man. When somebody's so good, he doesn't allow anybody else who's pretty good to like come up and show that. You know, like Roy Jones was so good that we never got to see how Eric Harding was actually a good fighter. You know what I'm saying? We never got to see that because you know he beat him and then Harding fell off. Harding lost a little bit of his desire. Because sometimes you get beat, you just lose that desire. You know, Harding kind of fell off. You know, so you know you don't know how many times you know you may have found these great fighters, have beaten some of these pretty good fighters, and may have developed a little more, but they just ran into the top guy. You know, so I don't know. You know, I feel like all these guys are at about the same level, but they're all pretty good. But I don't know if a prime Klitschko would have beat them all. Maybe so, maybe no. I don't know.
Was that difficult for you to stay in it, like when you fought Cotto? I mean, you guys were both undefeated at the time. It was a tough fight. You lost. Was it difficult for you to still have that hunger and have that mentality after that fight?
No, because for me, you know, first of all, I knew that money was going to last me for life, so I was like, nah, I can't go back to where I come from, bro. You know, I got to make more money. That's why. Otherwise, I'm going where I came from. Number one. And number two, I hadn't been a world champion yet, so you know, having come so close and not getting it, for me, left me with that kind of unfulfilled dream, and I wanted to go get that. You know, so you know, everybody's a little bit different. You know, some people kind of, you know, they're not as mentally strong. I don't know. You know?
The last big fight, you predicted it perfectly, Paulie. You were the betting whisperer.
Oh.
If you had Pacquiao Mayweather, if people listen to your podcast and listen to his videos,
there's not very many big fights. There's not very many big fights that I can tell you.
But you've been known to lay a coin or two.
I know, but you know, this is. I tell you what, you want me to know? This is not a fight you bet. You can't even bet the over/under in this fight, bro, because this shit could just end. You know what I mean? So this is not a fight you bet. If I'm telling you to bet, you know what I mean? If you want my advice, this is not a fight you bet, and I'm not going to bet this fight because that's how confident I am in my prediction. I don't think it's very. I think it's a flip flop. Even the over/under is a flip flop because this shit could just end.
Two quick questions. Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather, should it happen?
No.
Will it happen?
No. Listen, I'm all for anybody going to get theirs and going to get their money. I'm all about it. I don't hate on that. But it's two different sports. It's a ridiculous fight in a boxing ring, and it's a ridiculous fight in a cage. It's a ridiculous fight with either guy having the advantage in their respective domain to the point that it'll be a ridiculous advantage. So no, I don't believe it.
And you've been outspoken with Pacquiao Vargas. Did you see it, and what did you think of Pacquiao?
I saw highlights of it. He looked all right, you know, energetic. You know, he got hit a little bit though. You know, I mean, I don't know. It's a good win. Listen, you beat a guy 10 years younger than you. It's a good win. What am I gonna say?
What do you think about Pacquiao Lomachenko? They're talking about maybe doing that fight.
Pacquiao Lomachenko. Hey, you know what, bro? Today we could talk about Pacquiao and Andre Ward. Tomorrow we could talk about Pacquiao Lomachenko. Fuck weight class. This guy just does it. This guy goes up and down. Fuck it.
A nice weight
Lomachenko is next week. You might as well give us your breakdown.
You know, I think both of those guys are tremendous fighters. I give the edge to Lomachenko. Also, it's been a year since Walter's fought. It's a shame that, you know, he couldn't get a tune-up before this fight, you know, because this is a very big fight. You know, you don't want to go into it cold.
So you leaning towards Lomachenko?
Yeah, definitely leaning towards Lomachenko. These guys, my guys at Sky need me.
Thank you, Paulie.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Paulie.
You already know what it is. It's Barbershop Conversations. Hit the subscribe and the like button today.